Hey guys, welcome to this video. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Emily and today we're going to be talking all things about online and digital businesses. I actually opened the floor to you guys, my audience, and I said please send me in all your burning online business, digital business questions and I will answer them for you. And we had such an overwhelming response. So the first topic of conversation we're going to tackle is all about getting started and strategy. You guys had a ton of questions on inspiration for content, how to get that first brand deal nailed, tips for reaching out, strategies for growth, how to take the plunge from that full-time corporate job into jumping and starting up your online small business or going full-time as a content creator, influencer, all of that sort of thing. The first question that I got sent and I'm going to discuss is how did you build your following in the early days? I cannot get past 1,500k. Okay, so this was actually sent in by somebody who follows me and I actually had a look at your feed and I'm glad I did because it gave me sort of a context for answering this question. Believe me when I say getting to 10,000 on Instagram was a struggle. You can do it two ways. The first way, which I feel has more integrity, and it's the one that I followed, and that was a simple strategy of just posting regularly, and by that I mean posting every single day, or posting 5 times a day, or posting Monday, Wednesdays and Sundays and sticking to a schedule. Your followers want to be able to rely on you. That is how you build and gain an audience of loyal followers. If you're not showing up and you're not doing it in an organized or scheduled fashion, they feel like they almost can't rely on you and it's not someone that they want to follow. It can be as fickle as that. So if you can't commit to posting every day in the beginning, make sure you're committing to certain days of the week and you're showing up and you're posting. It sounds silly and simple, but it is just as simple as that. Sometimes showing up. People get lazy and they get really frustrated when they're not growing, and if you're not putting the time and the effort and you're scheduling and you're showing up, then you're not going to grow. Simple as that. This particular lady who sent this question, I actually had a look at your social media account and I could see immediately there was a few things that I felt you maybe were going wrong with. The first one was probably the cohesiveness of your feed. A good attractive feed always is going to gain more subscribers and followers than one that feels a little haphazard and random. If you're getting serious about growing your followers, you want to turn this into monetize this as a business, then you need a strategy, you need a brand, you need a recognizable sort of style that someone scrolling through their feed is going to immediately know is yours, and if they've liked it before, they will almost out of a behavioral pattern like it again. So if you're using different filters every time, or different lighting, or different types of photography, but it's not all tied together by the same sort of color scheme, then you're going to throw your audience off. If you start randomly posting quotes one day and then you don't follow that through and keep going, then you're going to throw people off. Make sure you have a strategy. It's as easy as that. You just have to sort of open Planoly, which is an app to help schedule content, and then you can drop everything in and you can actually see how your theme looks. It also helps to balance sometimes pictures with busyness, plain ones busy, plain, blizzy, plain, so it kind of looks symmetrical on the eye. It doesn't work if you've got a ton of busyness in one corner in the feed and then like lots of plain, simple, minimalist pictures. So get really clear about what your brand image is, what the colors are you want to use, the editing techniques, and stick to it. So the third thing I'm going to say is probably the most important thing when you're growing with integrity in the early days, and that is giving your followers content that has value. What is it saying? What is it telling them? What information are you offering that they don't know? Are you offering them a solution? Are you offering them a style hack, a makeup tip, an inspirational quote that you've written yourself, and then you're going to go into a little bit more detail in the caption? Make sure someone has a takeaway from what you're posting. Make sure it's savable content, because those saves count more than likes these days. If someone's saving your content to look at it later or refer back to it, it's because it has value. You should go and look at your post analytics and see which has the most saved. That's the kind of quality content you should be putting out on a regular basis. The other way to grow on Instagram, and I'm not really a fan of this, is just to post really sort of algorithm friendly content that's very aspirational and it has that Instagram aesthetic. This content is super beautiful and the people that create this are really talented. I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying that is if you want to fall into that cycle and create that kind of aesthetic, then it's going to take you places, your following is going to grow, but not necessarily your money is going to grow, because brands find it difficult sometimes to invest in that type of aesthetically pleasing content, because often it'll be a pretty picture without really a voice or a caption or any value behind it. If you're just putting up a really cute picture and then rehashing some like inspirational quote in the caption or something funny, then you might gain followers from it, but it doesn't really say who you are potentially. It doesn't really give air to your voice. Therefore, brands don't really know how to invest in that. So as tempting as it is to do that, if you want to make money from this business, long-term money, really give your brand a focus and a voice, then I would suggest doing that first step. Yes, it is the harder one, but it's the one that I feel pays off more in the long run. So my next question is all about, where do you get inspiration for content? Now, this can be challenging, particularly if you are a brand. I imagine the best way to do that is really to kind of batch shoot your content if you're pushing products or things people can buy into. If you're a content creator and your Instagram is all about you, then really the best type of inspiration comes from where you are right now in time. There's a lot of value in creating content around what you're doing. Not only does it bring you closer to your audience, but it creates a really honest conversation around who you are, the message you're putting out, and the fact you're showing up. When I'm in doubt as to what to post, I usually think about, how have I been feeling this week? How have I been feeling this day, this afternoon? Like, what's in my mind? And then I try and put that caption down into words. And not necessarily the post has to reflect it. It can be a pretty picture, but as long as the caption has meaning or value, then I think it's postable. And I've actually got to a stage now where if I don't have anything to say, then I don't post, you know. Gone are the days of filler pics for me. So my next question is, how did you get your first collaboration with a brand? How do you get collabs as a new starter? This is a really good question. I feel like so many people that are up and coming, or they're just starting, or they're getting to the point when they are actually getting a few brand collabs in, but maybe they're not particularly what they want, and they've got their sights set on a brand that they really want to work with, then it is really important to be able to nail that cold call brand outreach email. And when I got kicked out of my job 5 years ago now, I had less than 10,000 on Instagram, and I really needed to get the money, and I needed those collabs to start coming in, and they hadn't at that point, because I never had the pressure on me to really like try, because I had a monthly income, I had a salary. But all of a sudden I'm out of a job, I've got to make the money come in now, I need those brand deals. So after trying and testing a few email templates, I found one that really worked and had a really great conversion rate on getting brands to reply to me. And the market is saturated, you need to be able to stand out. But what I've done is I have written this template out, and I want to share it with all of you guys. It's going to be a free downloadable resource you can just download and then stick it into your email box, and please do play around with it, get creative, add in your bits. But it's basically the structure of email that worked for me best when I was cold calling brands, trying to get replies, trying to get brand deals. Okay, so somebody's asked me about my mood board that I created. How do I create it? How do I use it? It's a really good question. I feel like mood boards are a fantastic way to really cement your vision, whether that's a vision for a particular project or a vision for your year ahead. I actually just went on to Pinterest to make mine, and I just saved down hundreds of images onto a board, and then I went through and I said, oh yeah, that aligns, no, that's a better version of that, maybe culled it all, got it down to about 50 images, saved them all, and then just literally copy paste them all into a Canva, and then I downloaded that image, high res of course, and sent it off to a printer, and then they came through a few days later. It's hanging on my wall. Visualization boards are not just great for what you want to achieve this year or 5 years or in your life, but they can also be great for giving your brand an identity and a point of reference you can have in front of you every single day, so you know when you go to post on Instagram, you know, you can put some of your actual content up there, and then some content that you aspire to kind of create as well as inspiration, and every time you're about to post, you can reference it. Does it fall in line with my vision board? Yes, it does. Okay, we're good to post. Oh no, actually I don't feel like this fits this actual image, so no, let's edit it again, let's maybe try a different image. So yeah, it's really good to have a mood board. Definitely suggest using one. Okay, someone's asked me if I have a strategy, if I have a long-term plan. I'm a planner at heart. I love having a long-term plan. I feel like I have more control. I feel like my vision is sharper when I have a plan. I don't know whether that's a personality thing or it's just generally good business. Either way, it definitely works for me. I usually set myself a yearly financial target. I look back on what I did last year, I see how much more I can like either double it or get it up by 50%, 100%, whatever it is. So I always have that in mind, and I check my accounts monthly, weekly even, just to make sure I'm hitting that monthly target every month when I've decided what my annual target, and that's finances. In terms of brand collabs, at the start of the year, 100%, I always write down the brands that I want to work with this year in some sort of capacity, whether it's paid or gifting or events, whatever. And I'll write that down, and I'll make sure I'm checking in on that as well. It's good to just have this all in a document. Your finances, your brand goals, your collaboration goals, Also your personal goals, like where you want to feel like your content's heading, what sort of audience you want to nail this year, all of that type of thing. Really get clear about that in your online business for sure. How to gain more followers on YouTube, the eternal question. I mean, this question I suppose can be rolled out to TikTok, to Instagram, everything. I can tell you the basic three, which is basically showing up and make sure you're posting regularly, make sure you're engaging, and make sure you're shooting and uploading content that resonates with your audience. Now, for me, my YouTube journey has been a little bit like this. Like I started out in beauty, I had a very beauty focused audience, then naturally I moved into style, I kind of retained that audience, but then it brought new followers in who liked all the hauls, and then I kind of started wanting to do more sex and wellness and mindfulness, and then I did kind of lose a few of my before followers who were like, oh, we're just here for the beauty, like we don't really enjoy this stuff, which is fair enough, they went away. And then like I started gaining new followers from that, and it's constantly a shifting thing. If you are decided that you are doing one theme on your topic, then it's a lot easier because you are going to get that audience in and you are going to make them stick if you continue to give them what they want. But if you are changing subjects, don't expect your audience, all of your audience to stay. It's just kind of reactive as to who you are and what you're putting out there, and always remember that. But if I'm honest, YouTube is a really hard place to grow at the moment, I would say. In general, long form video content isn't being enjoyed as much. Nowadays there's a certain shift over into this sort of short form content in terms of Reels, TikTok, or like even Instagram TV, which almost by today's standard is long form now, whereas before it was YouTube. The shorter, the snappier content is definitely being favored. So always think, if you're going to put a YouTube video out, how can you repurpose that content and put it in smaller segments onto your social media channels in like TikToks or Reels. Okay, so this question is, how did I get my name out there? I remember back in the early days when I was still working full time at my other job, and I was getting lots and lots of invites through to really exciting events, dinners, launches, that sort of thing. I was running myself ragged trying to get, you know, a breakfast before work started, a lunchtime event or appointment, and then I would have an evening event. And like I kind of did that for about 6 to 9 months, where I was just saying yes to pretty much anything where either I really wanted to get into the PR agency and get my name passed around there, or I really loved the brand and I wanted to work with the brand, or they were giving out free food and drinks because I wasn't making much money, and if a free dinner was involved, then I'd just go eat and network my ass off. So it's really important to try and get to events. Obviously it's a little bit different these days with what's going on in the world right now, but there's still Zoom events. Just make sure if you are new, you are small and you are trying to grow, you are showing up, people know your name. Do not respond to emails in the first year. I had a rule when I was just starting out, I responded to every single email, even if it was like spam. They would get a much shorter and more direct response. But I was responding to everyone, so I was on people's radar. PRs want you to respond if they're emailing you. I mean, the amount of people that don't respond anymore, I'm one of them. I don't really have to respond to every email now because people know me, and if I want something, I've got a good enough relationship established from those early days, I can email them direct and say, hey, I need this product sent over, I'm doing this, or can I pick your brain about this, or can we work together on this? But in the early days, show up, make sure everyone knows your name, speak to other bloggers, make friends, reply to emails, be polite. Don't kiss ass though. No, never do that. Someone has asked me for top tips for turning their beauty hobby online into income generation, and they've also asked about affiliate links. Great question. I actually started, I mentioned before, I started in beauty when I first started talking to camera and uploading on social. I'm assuming if it's your hobby already, then it is a passion of yours, because you really have to be passionate about whatever it is you are talking about on your social media. If you have chosen a niche, you have to be a passionate expert. Step one. If you're not passionate and you're not an expert, then you either need to brush up on your knowledge, get immersed, read up on products, educate yourself. And if you're not passionate, then you chose the wrong subject, honey. Assuming you are a passionate expert, tips on how to turn the hobby into income generation. Well, it would include making sure you have an Instagram or posting schedule where you are showing up at the same time every single week. You are doing all types of content, including static posts, reels, long form video on IGTV, for example, makeup tutorials or product reviews. Reels is really great for like just reveal kind of stuff, so from no makeup to transform makeup, whatever you want to do. The static grid posts, they're really great for product reviews, almost like mini Instagram blog posts. I think this is a fantastic way to create high value content that people are going to save and go back to read into more depth, or just even to remind them to buy the product, right? So as soon as you are sort of bringing that consistent value and posting all these different types of beauty content for your following, you're sure to see some growth there. And as soon as you're growing, then you can start approaching the affiliate teams. I use Reward Style mainly because just usually everything's in one place, but I have actually signed up to several different affiliate programs in the past. Actually, I think it's Reward Style, you have to be at a certain level to be accepted onto the program, and by level I mean like follower numbers. It's always down to the numbers, but you can also get recommended by someone, and I think you can get in there sooner if you're not at 10k yet, if you're recommended by a friend. So if you know someone who's on it and they can recommend you, then that's a fantastic way to get onto Reward Style. Is that how I got on? No, I think I just emailed them. But yeah, that's a really good way. And then once you've done that, you can start generating affiliate links for any products you mentioned. You can start peppering them around your social media and start earning commission on anything you speak about, anything you cover on your stories or your grid. I will actually leave a list of all the affiliate programs that I know and I've tried down below, so you guys can have a little look. There's a really good one called Skim Links that allows you to affiliate any sort of link ever. You don't have to be part of the program, you just need to create a login and you can kind of generate links and then share them on your blog, on your social, and you can get commission from them, which is just open to anyone really, any creators. But yeah, I will list a few down below, guys, so do check them out. If you're looking to join an affiliate program, then these are a few that I know, I've tried, or I recommend. So I don't even think that affiliate links are potentially the first way to make money. Like, they're definitely a good way to make money when you have a really engaged audience or you have a really high follower count, because the likelihood to generate more income from more people clicking and seeing on that link is bigger. However, I honestly think if you're doing those steps that I told you in nailing all of the different types of content, you're posting regularly and you have a theme and you're adding value, then I actually think that brand deals are going to come to you sooner. That's going to be a way more lucrative way of making money than actually using affiliate links. I use affiliate links. I use them when I know a product is just going to sell, or I know I'm about to get on social media. I'm like, guys, these jeans are amazing and they are a great price. I'm linking them and I know I'm gonna make a lot of money from it. When I do my beauty content, sometimes like I barely make £10, and then sometimes I'm making hundreds. It really does depend on, I think, the style of content. I think people engage more on affiliate links that are kind of honed in on and like isolated in your content. So like you'll have a load of stories, then you're like, oh, by the way guys, this product, blah, 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 and you're kind of heroing it. But if you're posting a ton of links all at once, it's not always the best way to see the return on revenue, unless it's like fashion, which tends to do really well in terms of affiliates on, like, you know, shop my story hauls or that sort of thing. This final one on this strategy and get started topic is how to generate job leads. Now, I already mentioned that I'm going to give you guys a free downloadable email template to best way to kind of cold call outreach brands when they don't know who you are or you're like approaching them for the very first time. That is a great way to do it on email. Another way, if you don't have the email, is to slide into the brand's DMs. Obviously make sure you're following them and you've liked them and you kind of observe their feed for a little bit of time before you just cold call them in the DMs, because brands do sometimes check up on that. And always have something to say. Never just approach them and say, hey, I really want to work with you. It's not enough. Everybody does it. You're gonna get ignored. Email in the bin, or maybe just ignored, but it's not gonna work. You need to have sustenance. You need to put the big juicy apple or salty margarita into that email so they bite or sit. Gonna show you how in the email template anyway, guys. But I will say this, when you do go in and you are approaching brands for the first time, you need to be armed with all the facts, the data, the analytics, the ideas, the pitch, and then you need that killer sign off to make sure they respond. But yeah, like I said, it'll all be in the email template. So yeah, that has been the strategy and getting started portion of this business Q&A. Thank you so much, guys, for sending in all your questions. That was really fun.